Hi again, pumpkins. We are back this week for a book haul. Shocking, I know. I never do those.
Dooby 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 Sophie Vlogs.
This week's book haul has largely been collated from charity shops, which means that it is an interesting mixture of things that I have stumbled upon and impulsively bought mostly. So yeah, I'm just going to dive in. First of all, we have The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. I have heard such freaking good things about this. I feel like most of 2016 involved me watching YouTube videos where people mentioned this book and how good it was, and me being like, oh, I really should read that. Oh, I really should pick that up. And then, where was I but in a British Heart Foundation bookshop? And I saw it, and I grabbed it from the shelves and I ran. I paid. I should clarify. I did not thieve from charity. But I was super excited. That's the point I'm trying to get across. I was excited. I'm gonna do a review when I've read it. Until then, I don't know a super large amount about it. I'm just excited. After that, we have Our Souls at Night by Kent Haruf. This is very exciting to me because the back says one of the great poets of the modern novel, and I read like a tiny sneaky bit and I found it super good. So all I know so far is it's about two people who have known each other for years. They live quite close to each other. They're both bereaved. They've both lost their partner, and one day the woman suggests to the man that they start sleeping together, not as in sex, but as in he comes over of a night and they sleep in the same bed because they're lonely. And then it goes from there. I do not know where it goes from there, but I'm kind of looking forward to finding out. It's quite small. I think it's going to be a very fast read, but I'm hoping it's going to be a beautiful one. Following on the heels of that, we have The Sea by Iris Murdoch. This is one of those books which is like a classic, and I know of it, and I know of Iris Murdoch, and I've heard all of these great things, and I've never read. So I just picked it up, and I'm gonna read it, and then I will know, because I don't really know anything about what it's about. I know the back says, Charles Araby, a well-known theatre director, has come to live in a lonely house beside the sea. And he wants a life of simplicity and solitude, and then he's an old flame living nearby, and the great love of his life acts to save her. Story of obsession, written with enormous skill and compassion, and set against the background of the innocent and terrible sea. I really like the idea of the sea. In actuality, the ocean terrifies me, because it's like full of horrors. And also like the sea is a little bit scary sometimes. Like you could die, but it's also pretty. Such is life. This is a weird way of saying that I like the concept of this and I'm excited to read it. After that we have Tree and Leaf by J.R.R. Tolkien with an introduction by Christopher Tolkien. I read Tolkien's essay on Beowulf a couple of years ago when I was studying Beowulf, and I found it really interesting. This is part non-fiction essay, this time about fairy tales, about rescuing them from obscurity, taking away some of the pretension, making them accessible again, that sort of thing I gather from the back. It also has a poem in it, and maybe a short story. The back was slightly confusing, but there's stuff. And I still haven't read The Lord of the Rings. It's on my list. I'm gonna get there. But I do enjoy Tolkien in small doses. I think I'm afraid of The Lord of the Rings because I don't know if I'll like him in big doses. So this might be like an easing me in. I don't know. We'll see. After that we have another book that I didn't know existed and impulsively bought. The theme of my life. The Blood of Others by Simone de Beauvoir. I read The Second Sex a couple of years ago, and I found myself, although it's like a really fucking big book, I found myself really enjoying it. Specifically also like the way that she wrote. I really enjoyed just like the act of reading her words, even if you separate that out from like what she is saying. So I thought I would try another one of her things. This is Jean Blomart, patriot leader against the German forces of occupation, waits throughout the endless night for his lover Helene to die. The world outside is disintegrating and he is racked with guilt and by the onset of despair. That's about the agony of the French resistance and the questions about each and every man's responsibility for his life and others' death. It doesn't sound like the cheeriest read, I'm not gonna lie. But, like, it's not too long. So if it's not good, then at least I don't have to get through that much of it. That's my logic there. Just gonna give it a try. I read her non-fiction. Gonna read her fiction. See what it's like, I guess. After that we have Ovid Metamorphose, edited by Philip Terry. This is a collection of short stories inspired by Ovid's Metamorphoses, which I love. And it's just like revisionings. Like, how can we tell that I love mythical revisionings and fairy tale revisionings and revisionings of this? And how many times can I say that without stumbling? Not very many. Okay, so some people who are in this who you might know. Marina Warner. I like Marina Warner. I've only read a bit by her, but I liked what I read. Margaret Atwood. She's a name, isn't she? There are the only two that I've actually like read stuff of before. There are people who I know the names of, like Joyce Carol Oates and A.S. Byatt, who like I am familiar with their names. I've never read anything by them. Whenever I hold any form of compilation stories, I'm always just like, I'll get to know all these people. And I think that's why I get excited about them, because I'm like, new people to discover. But I love myth stuff. I love retellings of myths. Like, I'm a broken record, but I just couldn't walk away. And last but not least, we have a book that I will confess I bought initially for aesthetic reasons. We have The Somnambulist, if that's how you say that word, by S.C. Fox. Look how fucking beautiful this cover is. Is this not the most gorgeous cover? I like the little moon, personally. That's my favourite bit. So the back makes this sound like a kind of gothic-y mystery novel, and it sort of put me in the mind of Jane Eyre. I like Jane Eyre, although I think that Rochester is an awful human being, and I do not root for their romance at all. However, I really like the book, and I like analysing the book and thinking about the book and reading the book, quite frankly. So I like a good gothic mystery, I think. The combination of the two, like the vague Jane Eyre-ness of this, plus like this beautiful cover, and I thought, screw it, why not? It was 50p, and I went for it. And I'll let you know what I think of it when I get round to reading it. Those are all the things I've bought vaguely recently. Please let me know if you've picked up anything particularly spectacular, or if you have anything that you haven't dived into yet but you're very excited for. I would love to know. If you've read any of these, let me know your thoughts. Always love to hear them, but spoiler free. I hope you're having a really, really nice day, and I will see you next week.